So we need to talk about Lori Chavez DeRemer. This is the new Secretary of the Department of Labor. Lori Chavez DeRemer? Really? Really? Lori Chavez DeRemer. She's saying that the American worker is, pretty important, but not as important as the Israel First, Joe Biden 2.0, genocidal queen, Yin Fuhrer, Donald Jennifer Trump. Lori Chavez DeRemer, she's going to be the worst labor secretary since Ray Marshall. And you know who Ray Marshall was. Don't even act like you don't know who Ray Marshall was. That's the labor secretary under Jimmy Carter. Remember that debacle? Ray Marshall was the worst damn labor secretary. What about the labor secretary under Calvin Coolidge? James J. Davis. James J. Davis. That's how bad this DeRemer is going to be. DeRemer, a person who unrims. Lori Chavez. Lori Chavez DeRemer. Lori Chavez DeRemer. James J. Davis. She's going to be as bad as James J. Davis. She's going to be as bad as Ray Marshall. Who the hell remembers Ray Marshall today? Who the hell remembers James J. Davis of Calvin Coolidge today? Nobody, and nobody's going to remember Lori Chavez DeRemer, that asshole. And then, of course, who's that labor secretary under Grover Cleveland? You remember that labor secretary under Grover Cleveland? Of course you don't, because it's not possible. It's a trick question. The U.S. Department of Labor wasn't established until 1913. That was way past Grover Cleveland's time in office. But he did have a commissioner of labor, but that was a part of the Department of the Interior, back then in 1885 to 1889. And who was the commissioner of labor back then? Carol D. Wright. She started that role in 1885 under the Bureau of Labor, which was created just a year earlier in 1884. Wright continued in that position to Cleveland's second term, 1893 to 97 as well. Though the Bureau became more formalized over time, he's often credited with shaping early labor statistics and policy in the U.S. Yeah, great fucking job you did there, Carol D. Wright. So, Carol D. Wright, crap labor secretary. Ray Marshall under Jimmy Carter, crap labor secretary. James J. Davis under Calvin Coolidge, crap labor secretary. Lori Chavez DeRemer, crap labor secretary. So who is this Lori Chavez DeRemer? Hell, maybe you can listen to these Grok roast of the administration just to learn something about who the hell is ruling over you assholes. The former Oregon Congresswoman, now eyeing the labor secretary gig. She's like the political equivalent of a mullet. She's business up front, and then, the corporate party in the back. She spent her one term in Congress. She was in Congress for 2 years. Hell, get on in there. Be the leader of the labor department now. And it is unremarkable. Lori Chavez DeRemer. When she was in Congress, she tried to convince everybody that she's a moderate Republican, but her voting record was so pro-life that it could have been sponsored by a convent. And then Lori Chavez DeRemer pivots to cozying up with the Teamsters. And then she was the only Republican to back the PRO Act. So I guess she figured union dues are bugs from the working class. She's cozying up with the Teamsters. She passed the PRO Act, but Rand Paul made sure that she said on record that she supports the state right to make you work without a union. The so-called right to work states. Lori Chavez DeRemer is okay with the state's right to work and won't overturn any state who wants to smash unions under the banner of right to work. Lori Chavez DeRemer doesn't know if she believes that the $7.25 minimum wage should be increased, although she did mention that it hasn't been raised since 2009. She is just so shifty. She kept on saying, well, that's a hypothetical. It's not a hypothetical. can you not imagine a certain situation and how you would do in that certain situation? It's like, hey, I'm not going to give you a straight answer, but just trust me. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm a loyalist to the king. We're going to get rid of the 3 branches of government. We're just going to keep him in power for the rest of our lives. He's going to shoot all the protesters that he wants to, throw as many journalists in jail that he wants to. And we're never going to have a plane that actually lands safely at an airport ever again. It's going to be great. Lori Chavez DeRemer would be opposed to any funding freezes for the Department of Labor, Jobs, and Programs, she says. But they're talking about funding freezes. So when they go to freeze her funding, she's going to be like, hey, Jan Fuhrer, don't do that, you orange baboon. Lori Chavez DeRemer, her single term as representative in the House as Oregon's 5th District Representative. Lori Chavez DeRemer's record leans heavily on bipartisan, low-drama stuff like veterans, poison control, workforce training, keeping the lights on. But Lori Chavez DeRemer lost her re-election bid faster than you could say Oregon's 5th District, proving that she's got the staying power of a paper umbrella in a Portland rainstorm. Now that Donald has tapped her to make America work again, which is ironic since she couldn't even keep her own job and he's never had a regular job his entire life. Lori Chavez DeRemer, she's out there promising pragmatic solutions, but her confirmation hearing was less labor champion and more deer in the headlights. Lori Chavez DeRemer was dodging questions like she was auditioning for The Matrix. If she gets the gig, Lori Chavez DeRemer, she'll probably try to unite workers and businesses by giving Elon Musk a pickaxe and calling it efficiency. Good luck, Lori Chavez DeRemer. You're going to need more than you'll need it more than Happy Valley needs another strip mall. She comes out of Happy Valley. Isn't that like idyllic? If you live in Happy Valley, then why do you want to smash labor unions? From the nation's capital, Lori Chavez DeRemer. Lori Chavez DeRemer's confirmation hearing performance. If dodging questions was an Olympic sport, she'd be taking home the gold. Lori Chavez DeRemer, she stepped up to the Senate Health, Education, and Labor and Pensions Committee February 19th, 2025, and she turned it into a masterclass in saying a whole lot of nothing. When she was pressed on her vote on the PRO Act, because that's the one decent thing she did for unions, Lori Chavez DeRemer, she pulled a verbal U-turn smoother than a politician fleeing a scandal. She said, I signed on to it to be at the table because I want to have that conversation at the table. Before basically admitting that she'd ditch it faster than a sinking ship now that she's Trump's ball-holding lackey. Rand Paul had grilled Lori Chavez DeRemer on her right to work laws, and she just nodded along saying, states' rights, yep. Yep, states' rights, Senator, yep. So she left the Teamsters in the dust. The Teamsters backed the wrong horse. She took a picture while wearing a Teamsters jacket. She had a Teamsters fleece on. She had a hat that said Teamsters on it. How can a person who wears a hat that says Teamsters on it turn against the Teamsters? You know how many Teamsters it takes to screw in a light bulb? 3. You got a problem with that? Lori Chavez DeRemer was a city councilwoman and mayor of Happy Valley, Oregon. And while she was there, she pushed for a library that finally opened in 2009. So she's happier in Happy Valley. She does more progressive stuff in Happy Valley. They asked her if the NLRB is constitutional. And of course, the NLRB is the National Labor Relations Board. That's been around since FDR. That's been around since the 1930s. It didn't even have a 100-year anniversary. So they said, hey, Lori Chavez DeRemer, is the NLRB constitutional? She says it's a separate and independent entity. And she respects its autonominity. But she didn't say if she thought it was constitutional. Just dodging questions. These confirmation hearings are so stupid. They're so dumb. The Republicans already have the vote, so it's just a formality. Go in there and just either stonewall them or filibuster them or roll your eyes or just lie. Get in there and just lie. Yep, I'm for the unions. Yeah, I'm for the corporations. Well, I'm for the unions. I'm for the corporations. I'm for just a perfect balance between the two. Just believe me. Trust me. When I get in there, I'll see what's going on and I'll do the right thing. I'll kiss the ring. I'll just go ahead and execute whatever he tells me to do. I'll execute the executive legislation. In the executive orders, legislation. I thought the legislative branch is supposed to write the laws. What the hell is Congress even doing? Why do we even have a Congress? Lori Chavez DeRemer believes in the secret ballot for union organizing. Then there's Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency sniffing around the Labor Department data. Patty Murray asked if she'd keep that info locked down, and Lori Chavez DeRemer hit her with, I haven't been briefed yet, but I'll protect it. Most likely, maybe I'll probably. Yeah, thanks a lot for the confidence there, Lori Chavez DeRemer. You'll probably protect it. Sounds like you'll figure it out after Musk already faxed Tesla's competitor files to himself. Bernie Sanders tried to pin down Lori Chavez DeRemer down on her position on the minimum wage, and she danced around it like a tango dirty dancing expert, like an absolute professional liar. Well, the minimum wage, it hasn't been raised since 2009, and people probably should have higher wages, but then it's not good economics. So eventually Bernie Sanders says, if you were sitting right here where I'm sitting, well, I'm not sitting there where you're sitting, Bernie. Now am I? I was sitting there, but I'm not sitting there now. He was like, okay, I understand you don't pass the laws on this thing, but you do have an opinion. No, I don't have an opinion. My opinion is whatever the orange orangutan's ass tells me. I follow the orange orangutan's ass. Come along, you belong. Feel the fizz of Coca-Cola. For all you Chip and Dale Rescue Ranger fans out there, Darkwing Duck, let's get dangerous. You better watch out, you bad boys. Darkwing Duck. What is Darkwing Duck's theme song? I need to. Darkwing Duck theme song. Let's get dangerous. I have to type in lyrics. Come on now. Daring duck of mystery, champion of right, swoops out of the shadows. Darkwing owns the night. Well, somewhere some villain schemes, but his number's up. Darkwing Duck, when there's trouble you call DW. Darkwing Duck, let's get dangerous. Darkwing Duck, you better watch out, you bad boys. Darkwing Duck, cloud of smoke and heat appears, master of surprise. Who's that cunning mind behind that shadowy disguise? Nobody knows for sure, but bad guys are out of luck, 'cause here comes Darkwing Duck. So Lori Chavez DeRemer, she's no Darkwing Duck. She's no Chippendale Rescue Ranger. She's no Monterey Jack. She's not even Dennis the Menace. Sure, he got himself into trouble, but Dennis the Menace had a heart of gold. He had a heart of gold. She also said she'd follow the law, unless the ball says otherwise. What? That's about as firm as a wet noodle. So Lori Chavez, DeRemer to undo the rimmer. She says she's all about, hey, look, I'll follow the law that I've never read and I'm not going to be briefed in. And when I get in there, I'll do exactly what the law says unless, well, the orange orangutan's ass tells me not to. If the orange orangutan's ass tells me not to, if Joe Biden 2.0 tells me to jump, I'll say, aye, aye, Captain, anything you say, and then I'll kiss his ass. I'll kiss that orange orangutan's fat old ass. All right, I'm getting off track here. I've kind of got on a tangent. Where am I at? This is a Grok roast. But I kind of add some of my own stuff here. So Lori Chavez DeRemer, her whole vibe is, I'm not confirmed yet. I don't know anything. I don't know what the hell's going on. But just trust me. I'll be great. They also didn't ask her any tough questions, too. She's got a good resume, right? She's got a couple kids. She's got a husband. She was a mayor, city councilman. She's from Happy Valley. She was a congresswoman for one whole term. I don't know what that has to do with being a good Department of Labor secretary. And nobody asked her any tough questions. I want to say she was also pretty, too. So she basically has all the gifts of being the next president. But is she going to fight for the PRO Act? Is she going to get the Employee Free Choice Act? Is she going to make sure the National Labor Board is up and running? Is she going to make sure that the Department of Labor has plenty of financing? What the hell? The Department of Labor has never done anything for me. The Department of Labor has done, Ray Marshall. What the hell was Ray Marshall about? Jimmy Carter picked him to be the Secretary of the Department of Labor. What the hell did Ray Marshall ever do for you or me or anybody? Watching Lori Chavez DeRemer is like watching somebody audition for a job that they didn't even read the description for. A lot of smiles, but zero substance. Yes, I want to be a nuclear engineer. Do you know what that consists of? Not really. But when I get in there, it'll be great. I'll follow the law, and the president would never tell me to break the law. If he told me to break the law, well, then I'd break the law. I don't even know the law enough to... I have no principles. I have no morals or ethics. I have no backbone. I'm not going to tell the dictator fascist. You don't tell the dictator fascist no. You don't stand up to the dictator fascist. His ego is very fragile. Do you realize how fragile his ego is? So lots of smiles, no substance. If this is what it looks like when she fights for the American worker, then I'd hate to see her phoning. I'd like to see her just phone it in. Just phone it in, Just call him sick. Just shoot an email. She's going to need a lot of luck running the Labor Department. This Lori Chavez DeRemer. Lori Chavez Dreamer. You might need more than a vague promise and a Teamster's fleece to pull this off. Yeah, you definitely will need more than a vague promise and a Teamster's fleece. Wearing a Teamster's fleece does not make a good labor secretary. There's a lot of people that's in Congress. I bet Rand Paul hates the Teamsters. Peace.